Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are 100% floundering, both professionally and especially personally, because the two of them seem to be at a crossroads. This has not been a good year for either one of them. And we have two situations this week, which I think exemplify how hard they're failing. The first is Prince Harry somehow torpedoing his own attempts to revive a relationship with his father by accusing the courtiers of sabotaging him, and complaining to the press about allegedly how somebody from the palace leaked, or that the details of his meeting with his father leaked, and then basically confirming the details were correct. And so kind of dumb decisions on Harry's part with his PR team. It seems like when silence would be the best thing to do, of course, they can't help but talk to the media. And next we have Meghan Markle, who still cannot figure out how to market a brand. It is a mystery to her, and one that she can't seemingly solve to save her life. And we have another example of this as Meghan promotes a product that does not exist and an item that she is not selling. Yes, oh yes, Meghan still cannot figure out what the heck as ever is, as Harry cannot figure out how to have a functional adult relationship with his family without talking to the media. They are the Duke and Duchess of floundering. And as this year gets worse and worse, I can't see things getting any better for the couple. So we are going to get into all of this. But if you haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany. I do provide compelling royal commentary. So please hit that subscribe button. I would absolutely love to have you back. And I am currently traveling, so you will not see my bright, happy, shiny face. But we need to talk about these topics because, oh my goodness, everything just keeps getting worse for the two of them. And it cannot happen in some ways to more deserving people because they have done this all to themselves. Harry has accused the palace of sabotaging him and his attempts to reconcile with his father, but Harry really is the one sabotaging everything because, like I said in a previous video yesterday, the guy cannot shut his trap to save his life. And it's not helping him at all because private for the royal family means private. And Harry just doesn't seem to get that because when things go sideways for him, he really honestly seems to think that talking to the press more about it is somehow going to fix his problem. But that's just never going to be the case. Harry's problem is not the palace, it's not the press, it's just his inability to be quiet. Silence would serve him so much better in so many different ways, and he just can't seem to do it. He constantly has to promote himself and promote his version of events. And we have another example of it. And of course, it has the exact opposite impact Harry always wants it to have because he thinks, I think, maybe I'm giving him too much of the benefit of the doubt, that if he shares his side more and more, people will come to agree to it or will move over to his side and understand his perspective. But sort of Harry's entire problem is that he can't control the media, he can't control his family, and the real test here has always been, can he have a private relationship with them without going to the media to vent when things don't go his way? And we're seeing the result of that, his venting, his media team making multiple statements. And then now we have as well King Charles perplexed by Prince Harry's accusation of sabotage. Harry's spokesman claimed details of the father son meetings were being leaked to the media to prevent reconciliation. And I just don't really think that's the problem here. Harry's problem has been is that he's so toxic. There definitely could be people within the palace system that don't want him to reconcile in some ways. And so, yeah, you could say it as some sabotage, but he sabotaged himself first. People are sabotaging him because they don't like him because it makes sense to them. Now, that's just spitballing. It could just be that the courtier is sharing, or it could be that Prince Harry's media team hates him so much they're sharing it because he, I'm sure, is an absolute disaster to deal with. So they get their little revenges here and there. And as Harry freaks out, they swoop in to sort of try to clean up the mess. Although that's more work for them. So I don't know. Anyways, he's a disaster. And that's really hard to ignore. But this is what we have. It's from the palace that says it has been left saddened and perplexed by Harry's latest claim that the institution is sabotaging the relationship with his father, the king. Nobody sabotaged this for Harry. He did that. He did that with Spare, with Netflix, with Spotify, with Oprah. Harry sabotaged his relationship. The reason he has to reconcile is because he sabotaged it in the first place. And so, yeah, you might have to work harder to gain trust with people, and people may be testing you. They may be leaking stuff to the press to see if you can keep your mouth shut. And of course, Harry doesn't seem to get that. It's too difficult, I guess, of a concept for him. So he just goes this way, blames everybody else, and doesn't take accountability. Again, the reason Harry has to rebuild a relationship with his father is because Harry destroyed it in the first place. The royals so said the reality is that senior aides have been working behind the scenes to improve what is a delicate but important private family relationship. And I want to emphasize this private aspect, which Harry seems to just not get. The reason the palace is mad or upset or frustrated or whatever is that this needs to be a private relationship. Harry no longer has, quote unquote, a public relationship with his family. And what I mean by that is that he's not a working member of the royal family. Doesn't have a public profile really with the royal family. They need to do more to address that, but let's just stick here with sort of the bare bones basics. And he's sort of just, again, kind of shot himself in the foot here, or actually maybe the entire leg off. That's sort of what he did. And he's flopping around on one leg there, trying to figure out what the heck is going on in his world. And it's just not a particularly attractive quality. So, as Harry continues to navigate this, I think we'll see more reaction, more sort of detrimental collapses as Harry just can't seem to figure things out. And this, again, is just an annoyance at this point. We have seen this dog and pony show multiple times. This is Harry's problem. This is a problem that is not going to go away for him. This is a problem that will be coming back again and again and again. And Harry's big opportunity here, guys, has always been trying to keep things private. There are private relationships and there are public relationships. And yes, there are aspects of his private relationships which are public, but Harry just doesn't seem to really catch that. And he's just sort of destroying himself and his chances to have a relationship with his family in the process. Again, silence here would be so much better than opening his trap. That is the general rule here. When has it ever helped Harry to promote his side to such a degree? It doesn't really. I think the royal family is smart to sort of let people draw their own conclusions. They say things here and there. And yes, the media does, of course, drive a particular narrative. But the problem is that Harry can't control it, and he can never control it. It's beyond his control. So he just needs to accept what he cannot change, learn to accept the things he can, and know the difference. Harry doesn't know the difference. And I think, again, he antagonizes the media, antagonizes his family over fighting stupid battles because it bruised his ego. And he thinks he is losing in the court of public opinion, or I don't know. Maybe he wants to have a NASA flying ship or something. I don't know. Crazy is as crazy does, I guess, because Harry is not the only Sussex that is struggling here. The other one who is struggling is Meghan Markle. And it's as ever. As ever is not doing particularly well. I would say it's kind of sort of collapsing, and nobody is generally very surprised by that because this is a middling brand. It's an idea that's been done before. Actually, the Sidley twins found a video of Meghan's friend Abigail and her flower business and how Meghan seems to have copied a lot of the look from Abigail. And it's like, yeah, Meghan does not have an original idea in her head. And first, before we go to the video that she just showed, and I just have to analyze it from a marketing perspective because it's crazy, we do have an update for her as ever products, which again reinforces my theory that Meghan is still stupidly trying to engage with the scarcity tactic. And we sort of know this or can guess this based on the fact that now it seems like the crepe mix and the shortbread cookie mix have sold out. And I was curious if this would be the case or not, because of course we do have these other products here that are still available. And the first thing to sell out was orange marmalade, which I sort of figured was still something that was a limited edition type thing. I still don't understand, and I don't think anybody really does, what exactly the plan is here because there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to anything for this thing so far. That's why it's so poorly marketed and branded, which again, we will demonstrate how inept Megan is in this particular instance. But it seems that because these two have sold out, I would again say, guys, that Megan is still trying to only make a limited amount of products in order to feign success. There should be no reason either of these two ever sell out. No reason whatsoever. And the reason is these should always be in production. They should be always ready to go. And you should have a particular trigger point. If you don't have more, you make more, these sorts of things. This is how businesses run. And if you're constantly doing sort of dumb limited edition launches, what we have is confirmations that it took 4 weeks for these to sell out when it used to take an hour or less. At one time took 4 hours. Now maybe she added more products, but it still looks like this brand is massively, massively, massively cratering and slowing down. And we still have some products, including the horrifically awful peppermint tea that's still available, the flower sprinkles from hell, which people seem to be wanting to sprinkle on things that you wouldn't want to sprinkle flower sprinkles on. Megan likes to sprinkle things and she likes to show people who are sprinkling things. But this again is a failing concept because nobody in the world needs flower sprinkles. Flower sprinkles are an additional thing that maybe sometimes can make you happy. Maybe it works for like a tea party or something, but this is not a day every but this is not an everyday product. It will never be an everyday product. It's just Megan stands buying these endlessly for I don't know, kicks and giggles, I guess. That's the best I can come up with. But we have something new here. And when I saw this, honestly, guys, I was really, really confused because this video didn't make a whole bunch of sense to me. And there's a lot of things wrong with it. Number one is that you can hardly read this. And it's not very clear what Megan is saying here. You need to be clear in communications. I feel like Megan is sharing some sort of inside joke that other people don't get. And that's not really good for marketing and branding because you want something that's easily consumable. Yes, there'll be some inside jokes for products and brands, but we're featuring a product here that Megan is not selling, another product that Megan is not selling, a dog obviously Megan is not selling, an Hermes blanket as if to remind us that yes, oh yes, apparently allegedly Meghan Markle moved a whole bunch of Hermes blankets. Can't do it anymore though, can she? And is in her house with Harry actually saying good morning. You can actually hear him say good morning in this video. So let's get into it. So you actually hear Harry say good morning. So let's listen to that again because I just didn't catch that on the first round, but I caught it on the second round as if he is in the kitchen saying morning. And you got to wonder who is he saying morning to? Because she's there, but he's obviously in some ways I think not reacting to her. I'm imagining he's reacting to nannies and an assistant. That is or a housekeeper. That is my personal belief here there. So let's look at Megan's copy. So it says Delphinium nigella veronica, meet as ever, with garden roses and Queen Anne's lace and a very sleepy Mia, looking lovely ladies. When I first read that, I was like, is she talking about people? Who is she talking about? Why are we talking about this? And I first saw the initial video and I was like, it's a blank white vase. So, what is the point? And this again, you can hardly read it. It doesn't make a ton of sense, and it feels like Megan trying to be clever and failing massively at it. It's kind of like her food pun thing. I hate it when she does her food puns, I find them very annoying. Okay, so there we go. There we go. The As Ever logo. You have to close in to get the As Ever logo. And again, it's a lame logo. It's the one she had to come up with at the very last minute because As Ever could not be trademarked. And so here we go. She has this, she has her sort of weird elevator music playing in the background, trying to create like the perfect environment or whatever. But yeah, here this is. I find it weird that we're promoting a product that she is not selling and flowers that she is also not apparently selling. So we walk away. Why are we walking away? You want to be selling this product, do you not? Why are you walking away and proving that there's no reason to buy this product? And the reason is you can't flipping see the logo. Why would anybody buy a vase? So that probably is going to cost you $100 when you cannot see the logo. And what's the point? Now, granted, maybe you're like doing something that's super subtle, but if you're going to spend $100 on something, like you could get that same vase for $100 just about anywhere, probably for less. So, why is Megan's vase better? Just because her logo was on it? Again, this is exceptionally lazy marketing. And then we also get the whiteout again. So I guess we're focusing on Mia here, but almost it's more the flowers. I feel like this should be obvious, but Meghan Markle, you are not selling flowers. You are selling flower sprinkles, but you are not selling flowers. In fact, I don't really even particularly like this flower display. It's too messy. It's too busy. It's not really all that awesome. Megan thinks she's good at flower arranging. I personally, I disagree. And I don't think this is particularly good. And as we get closer, notice what she did here. This is what she should be focusing on. Sorry, this little dumb thing. Here, let's move it up here. This is what she should be focusing on because she is selling, maybe, I don't know, because she hasn't been clear at all. If, like, does she make products just for herself to hang out in her kitchen that she never plans on selling? I'm going to guess the answer is yes. That seems very Meghan Markle. But here we have the vase that she could be selling. Maybe, maybe. And you can't see the logo. She's focusing on the flowers. Something, again, I just have to mention, she is not selling. There we go. Flowers. This is all about the flowers. And granted, the flowers are pretty, but you're trying to sell a business and you're focusing on your logo. If she had just been focusing on the flowers, I would have no comment, really. It's dumb, whatever. Her husband says good morning to the housekeeper as she films randomly in the corner trying to find content because she's completely devoid of something called creativity. So she found something she could do, but she's not selling these. She may be selling this. She has a brand where she's selling this, but then she sells the flowers, which again tells me she does not care really about the brand and what it's selling, and she doesn't know what she wants to sell. So I just wanted to get to the end there because the real shot is about showing off her $16 million mansion and her dog and her Hermes blanket over there and the flower display that she made, not the product she is trying to sell. Now, I'm sure some people are going to complain, oh, Brittany, you're reading too much into this. No, I'm really not. Because Megan has a problem here, which is as ever has completely and utterly stalled out, and she hasn't done anything to rectify that problem. Instead, she is doubling down on a failing strategy, which is to send her products to influencers to open, like her friend Serena Williams, who happened to open it just as she was hitting controversy on the internet. Not really all that helpful to Megan, because now everybody's talking about cotton and Serena Williams and not wine and Serena Williams. I'm sure wine that Serena Williams promptly threw in the trash or gave to her assistant. So, this whole display is really, really bad. Megan needs to figure out how to sell her business because, yeah, she might have some shills who love it, but everyone else doesn't get it, not interested, and Megan has yet to focus on a product that's good. She thinks her spread is a hero product. It's not. And I feel like focusing on flowers you're not selling, in a home you're not selling, in a lifestyle you're not really selling, a dog that you're not selling, a blanket you're not selling, is just simply silly. She could be doing so much better. And this is why, as ever, will most likely fail, despite having every single building block to succeed, except for its biggest failure and biggest flaw, which is the creator itself, Meghan Markle. And of course, Harry is floundering himself in his personal relationships as things continue to go sideways. If the two of them could put their heads together, maybe they could help each other stay above water. But honestly, right now, I think both of them are floundering and collapsing under the weight of a series of very terrible and oftentimes very stupid decisions. One's motivated by greed and revenge and vengeance, and not kindness, joy, forgiveness, reconciliation, and love. So, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you again very soon. Bye.